First, let me introduce myself. My name is Ben Claper. I'm 25 years old. I've been attending college regularly since I was 18, and I'm a nerd. Now, a question. I presume most of you are familiar with the idiom, curiosity killed the cat. But, do you know its original ending? Now, a select few of you are perhaps saying, yes, I do. Most of you are probably in the same boat of, I didn't know that there was more. But, the most relevant question a lot of you are probably asking is, what's my point? My point is this. Everyday experiences can fundamentally shape how a person sees themselves. This is known as their self-concept. Now, to put it simply, the self-concept is the overall idea of what a person thinks about themselves and can usually be encapsulated by a list of characteristics that they consider important. Say, for instance, me saying I'm a nerd instead of saying I'm intelligent or smart. Because to me, a nerd is like a fanatic. It's somebody who's knowledgeable within a given subject or just their interest. But back to the self-concept. It's contextual, which means that depending on the scenarios we find ourselves in, we're going to think differently about ourselves. At the very beginning, I chose not to disclose my heritage. Now, most people would probably think it's appropriate and just tell them, but knowing my appearance, my inability to speak fluent Spanish, and my overall lack of experience with the culture, I'm usually hesitant to tell people that I'm of Mexican descent. Now, in a way, my behavior is being influenced by the past judgments of other people. Now, this idea that we form our self-concept based on what we believe others think about us based on their reactions is known as the looking glass self. Conversely, our self-concepts are also shaped by comparing ourselves to reference groups or people that we use as a standard for comparison. These normally change based on whatever it is that's being compared. This practice is explained as social comparison theory, and it's primarily measured using two dimensions: inferior versus superior, and similar versus different. Now, the first dimension is pretty self-explanatory. Something is either better or worse than whatever it's being compared to. Examples include appearance, abilities, or the performance of abilities. On the other hand, similarities or differences may be considered desirable or undesirable within specific context. Say, for example, the different ages between students in a class. Older students, such as myself, may compare themselves negatively to their younger classmates despite no other perceivable difference. Now, this could be considered an unreasonable social comparison, and it may cause negative thoughts about oneself and potentially making them behave in a way that's more in line with their self-concept in an attempt to maintain internal consistency. Now, this exemplifies a fundamental problem with social comparison. Our patterns for organizing information are complicated by our perceptions. The previous example I gave, it's unfair to me because I'm blaming myself without considering external factors such as personal circumstances or a pandemic disrupting academic ambitions. So, what have we learned? Hopefully that our self-concept is an ever-developing idea influenced by context of a scenario, our beliefs about ourselves based on the reactions of others, and by comparison to other people based on the characteristics we perceive as inferior, superior, similar, or different, which at times can be unreasonable and cause drastic changes in our behavior. Finally, if I can impart any advice, it's this. Be inquisitive. Question why you believe what you believe about yourself and others, and do so that you may continue to develop. The cost of wisdom is the risk of humiliation. But, as the saying goes, nothing ventured, nothing gained. After all, curiosity may have killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Thank you.